folks. Part 4 with Oakland Council President Lynette Gibson-McElhaney. Thank you.
And folks, I have said to Zenny, no one should have a 4-part interview in modern America. So on the second part of the question around Measure LL, I really hope that the citizens will pass it. It's not perfect. None of us have yet to see the society we want to live in anywhere in the world. So please pass LL and let us get on with the business of strengthening oversight for our police department.
Where are we with our sports teams and their retention?
I keep hope alive. We're going to keep all three teams.
Have you met with or talked to Ronnie Lott or the Ronnie Lott Group?
I have not met with Ronnie. I met with some earlier iterations of that team, but President Pro Tem Larry Reed is working very hard, the mayor's working very hard, and they've given me assurances that this is the group. I think too many cooks spoil the gumbo. So we're going to let the mayor and President Pro Tem Reed continue those negotiations, and I think that there's a path, as you know, I thought that what Floyd put out in his initial, Floyd Kephart, had put out in his initial proposal was a path to deep discussions. Unfortunately, he came in the wrong political time, right? The climate wasn't right. You have the good ideas, good political climate, the opportunity to have honest feedback across negotiating parties. Well, if you don't have trust, no matter how good the parties are, right, you can't get there. So I think that in every iteration that I've seen that looks bankable and doable, it all comes down to the same elements that Kephart put out there, and even things that you had put out there many years ago. The elements haven't changed, right? You just got to get to the right combination of leadership that can engender trust across the for all negotiating parties. And that's a tall order. You've got to have, in this case, someone who earns the trust of the Raiders organization, the NFL. I mean, it's complicated. Okay, let me say this. You have to be able to have trust and credibility with a good plan. The ability to have trust with the Raiders organization, the NFL, the A's organization, the Major League Baseball. It is a long shot, but the Warriors, and really it's the Warriors and not so much the NBA, right? You got to win over the Warriors. And you have to have someone who can also talk to the city and to the county, elected leaders and administrative leaders. And so that complexity, and you got to have somebody who has the credibility of the capital markets, right? So if you can manage those other, a dozen relationships, and carry a vision and then get it banked, there's a path to victory. And I think there is, and I think there's a lot of good people who have been working at this, and I think the table has thinned out to the core players. And on our side, the mayor and President Pro Tem Reed, so that begins to quiet the noise, and when they have something that they want to bring in scope to us, the council will take a look at it, tweak, refine, give feedback, but I think the intention...
Is the MOU coming? Because I get a lot of questions from Raiders fans about where are we with the MOU, and that's been signed, of course.
I think that's just handled administratively at this point.
Yeah, that was signed a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't believe that there was any legislative action that needed to affirm the memorandum of understanding between the negotiating parties, because we're not in an ENA, right, which would have required legislative. So this was, again, developing trust at that small table, and fingers crossed, prayers up, however you want to look at it. But I think the Raiders are sincere, even if they haven't been able to quite put it together yet. I think they're sincere in wanting to stay, and it's just been disappointing. But it's hard. I mean, I cannot understate. The mayor has the help of the NFL, which is great. Which is really great. Yeah. But I think that you just can't overstate how difficult it is in Oakland if you can't retain a core of leaders. 6-7 city administrators in 3 years. That's unprecedented, even for the instability of Oakland. You did a blog about this. We have this instability since the charter change, and when you have that level of turnover, it's really difficult. I had one conversation with A's owner, who was just like how long it took him to get a return call from within the Dellums administration, the Quan's administration. But if you think about that, it's like under Dellums, there were 2 or 3 or 4 city administrators. Under Quan, there were 2, 3, 4, 5 city administrators, you know. Then Libby comes in and doesn't seat a city administrator for 6 months, so we had interims, you know.
Right.
So we I finally now want to say, okay, team, okay.
We got Sabrina, right?
Right. We have Sabrina. You know, we got Claudia.
Yeah.
They seem like they like us. They keep coming to work every day so far. You know, and I think that's what it's going to take. You can't get innovative if you're not stable, and it's one of the reasons why, you know, I've endorsed Larry Reed for re-election. I think not only his sincerity and his deep knowledge, I think it would be tantamount to a gross error if we were to have a Oakland City Council that had no African American male presence. I just think, like, who would look at that and be like, what in the world,
Yeah.
right? And in the year where we're really looking at issues of justice coming down to how poorly black men in particular and black women are confronting issues of law enforcement or economic opportunity, having an African American male voice, even though some people don't like it, and even well-meaning, intending liberals don't like that male voice, it's an important perspective that balances the council, I think, overall. And we need stability in order to move forward, and you need a team that learns to cohese even when you fail at something, right? You've got to be able to evaluate it, take a step back, and grow. And we've had marvelous successes. You know, 8-0 votes on most of our stuff, and especially our big ticket, challenging ones. Banning coal, right? That's huge. We did that. And so, you know, I feel very good about our structure. I feel like it's taken us 4 years to sort of, you know, get to a foundation and a structure for growth and change. And, you know, I think we have, we have 2 more years with this mayor before we go through another election cycle. And I believe that she's rolling up her sleeves, she's doing the work. And again, I'm going to be working with my colleagues and wanting to move forward on the things that matter most. We need to protect our arts and cultural institutions, very important to me, protect our environment, maintain affordability for residents and for our commercial spaces to the extent that we can. We need to, you know, continue this serious work on what it means to have a holistic apparatus for health and safety.
Right.
And I'm going full in on the Department of Violence Prevention. It may get a change of name or something, but what this is it will elevate the work that the voters have given us under Measure Z to the same level, department level, with direct access to the city administrator. Because we know in life what gets measured gets done, and we want to put an apparatus in place for high accountability on the reduction of gun violence, domestic violence, rapes, and homicides.
We could talk more, but tell my viewers how they can find out more information about you and support your campaign.
Great. LynetteMcElhaney.com, LynetteMcElhaney.com. Lynette GM on Twitter, at Lynette McElhaney 2016 on Facebook.
Show me your thing there. There you go. Thank you.